Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And today, a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, if you saw my video on the Ty Cobb Rookie 1907 postcard that I posted probably a couple of weeks ago, I got I just enjoy reading the comments from all of my subscribers. And one of my subscribers, Silver Bull told me, because I had said in the video, I said, if anybody knows anything about stamps, let me know, because as you know, my postcard for Ty Cobb had a Benjamin Franklin 1-cent stamp on the back because it was mailed. And I didn't know anything about stamps, but Silver Bull sent me a comment and said that that stamp, that 1-cent Benjamin Franklin stamp, was worth over $500. He said, you need to look it up on, so I Googled it, and he's right. That stamp alone was worth anywhere between $500 and $1,000 just for that stamp that was on that Ty Cobb postcard. So I want to thank Silver Bull for informing me, letting me know about the value of that 1-cent Ben Franklin stamp on my rookie Ty Cobb postcard. So thanks again on that. And if you haven't seen that video on that postcard, go back and take a look at it. It's a beautiful postcard with the rookie of Ty Cobb and the Now I Know and the expensive 1-cent Ben Franklin stamp on the back. So thank you, Silver Bull, for that comment. I appreciate it. So today what I want to do mainly is I want to congratulate Kyle from Ground Chuck. I subscribed to his channel. He subscribed to my channel. And he had a challenge for us to show someone, a player that has accomplished a feat that will never be broken, a record that will never be broken. And I have a couple of those today. And the first one I want to talk about, and you see this menu here, Palio's Brothers Fried Chicken and Seafood. When I lived in Tampa, this is a place in Tampa. When I lived in Tampa, I was in the advertising business. And Palio Brothers was a little restaurant that was in South Tampa. You could see where it was on MacDill Avenue. And they advertised with me at the time. And they knew I was into baseball. And one day the owner told me that there was an old baseball player that comes in there to eat pretty much every single day and eats his chicken every single day. And I asked him who it was, and he told me. And I came for lunch a couple of days, and one of the days I had lunch there, I ran into him. And to tell you a little bit about this picture is Johnny Vandermeer. And Johnny Vandermeer, what he did will never, ever be broken. I guarantee you. He was the only pitcher in Major League history to pitch back-to-back no-hitters. Think about that. Back-to-back no-hitters. Not only that, he ended up pitching over 21, almost 22 innings straight of no-hit ball. And in June of 1938, and I met Johnny, and the reason I have this is because when I met him at the restaurant, I didn't have anything for him to sign. So I grabbed one of the menus, and he ended up signing the menu for me. And you can see here, I crossed out my last name, but it says, to Orlando, best wishes, Johnny Vandermeer. So Johnny Vandermeer, in June of 1938, Johnny Vandermeer pitched no-hitters in 2 consecutive starts. And the no-hit streak actually ran for 21 2/3 innings, counting the hitters that he retired before and after his 2 consecutive no-hitters. And on the third night that he pitched, it was actually after the second no-hitter, he became famous. And on the third time that he pitched, it says on here, he says that, this is Johnny Vander Meer quoting, he says, I could have kissed him. The tension was eating me up, Johnny Vander Meer said about Dem Garms finally getting a hit off him in the fourth inning of the game after his two no-hitters, one in which he pitched a three-hitter. And so that, after two no-hitters in a row, he pitched a three-hitter. And who was in attendance? But Cy Young. Cy Young went to see him pitch, to see this guy after he pitched two no-hitters in a row in 1938. So who's going to beat that record? You can't. Basically, you have to pitch three no-hitters, three straight no-hitters to beat Johnny Vander Meer's record of two consecutive no-hit games. And Johnny Vander Meer was an excellent pitcher. He actually pitched a third no-hitter. From 1938, he pitched another no-hitter in 1952. And he was actually 24 years in baseball. He was 13 years in the major leagues and 11 years in the minor leagues. He was a left-handed pitcher. He was a four-time All-Star. He was a Major League Pitcher of the Year. He also won a World Series in 1940. He ended up with 119 wins and a 3.44 ERA. So he wasn't one of the best pitchers, but during his time, from 1941 to 1943, he was the strikeout leader in 1941, 1942, and 1943, 3 years in a row. So I do not have a card of Johnny Vander Meer, but I was able to meet Johnny in person and get this autograph from him and talk to him a little bit about the no-hitters. He was an old man at the time that I met him. He, this was in the early 90s, and he passed away in 1997, and he was 82 years old. And I'll tell you, when I shook his hand, boy, he had a strong grip, and he had a big hand. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this record of Johnny Vander Meer, the only pitcher to pitch two consecutive no-hitters, and a record of 21 2/3 innings consecutive without allowing a hit. Almost 2.5 games without allowing a hit. That's an incredible feat, and I don't think anybody else will ever beat the record of Johnny Vander Meer. So this is Johnny Vander Meer, and this is where I met him, down in South Tampa at the Palios Brothers Fried Chicken Place. That's where he went to eat every day once he retired and became older. So that's one player I wanted to show you, is the Johnny Vander Meer autograph that I have. The next player that I want to show you is also someone who established a record that, again, is not going to be broken ever again. And there's two reasons why his record will be broken. And let me tell you who this player is. It's Bob Feller. Bob Feller, Hall of Famer. And I got his autograph back in, it looks like it was 1996 or 1992. I don't remember when I got it, but back in the early 90s, I got his autograph also in Tampa, when I lived in Tampa. So let me tell you a little bit about Bob Feller's record that I feel will also never be broken. Bob Feller, if you can imagine nowadays, do you ever think that there's going to be a high school pitcher pitching in the major leagues? Probably not. And I don't think that there will ever be another 17-year-old pitcher, not just pitching in the major leagues, but setting a record in the major leagues. So here comes this 17-year-old high schooler coming to the major leagues. And here's another card of Bob Feller here, a little autograph. This is not the real card, it's just a reprint of it. So here comes this 19-year-old pitcher pitching in the major leagues, making his first major league start in August. He struck out 15 in his first major league game. 15 at 17 years old. That's another record I don't think will ever be beaten. I don't think you'll ever have another 17-year-old pitcher that pitched in the major leagues and strikes out 15 major leaguers in his first game. A month later, he set an American League rookie record by fanning 17 Philadelphia Athletics in a game. Upon completion of his rookie campaign, Feller returned home to Iowa to finish his senior year of high school. And his graduation was covered by NBC Radio. Can you imagine that? A rookie high school pitcher coming into the major leagues, striking out 15 in one game, striking out 17 in another game. And he actually later on established a major league record by striking out 18. So I think those are two records that are never ever going to be broken. One by a left-handed pitcher, which was Johnny Vandermeer, and then the right-handed pitcher, Bob Feller. So I want to show you this Bob Feller autograph on a reprint, 1953. Here's his autograph on a photo. And he looks like he's a little guy, but he's not. You know, he was 6 feet tall. So he wasn't that short. Even though in the pictures, a lot of the pictures, it shows him that way. So Bob Feller had an incredible career where he ended up winning 266 games. He is in the Hall of Fame. And even with the 266 games that he won, he missed 3 full seasons in 1942, 1943, and 1944 because he went to the military. And he had the most innings pitched in major leagues in 1939, 1940, 1941. Then he came back for partially of 1945. And then again, the most innings pitched in 1946 and 1947. He pitched over 370 innings in 1 year. And he had the most strikeouts for 4, 5, 6, 7 years in a row. He led the major leagues in strikeouts from 1938 through 1941, and then from 1946 through 1948. So Bob Feller, and this is his 1948 Bowman card near mint 7. There's Bob Feller. A young Bob Feller, 1948 Bowman. So for Ground Chuck, these are two pitchers that have established records that will never be beaten. No one will never beat 2 no-hitters consecutively. And I don't think that any 17-year-old pitcher will come into the league and his first game in the major leagues striking out 15 batters. That's Bob Feller. There he is. And it says on here, he struck out 18 batters in one 9-inning game, a modern major league record. Another major league record he holds is 348 strikeouts in one season. Has led the league in games won for 5 out of the 8 full season he played Major League Ball, and led in strikeouts 6 times. He pitched a no-hit game in 1940 and again in 1946. Even though he spent 1942, 43, and 44 in the Navy, he has been on 4 All-Star teams. So overall, he was in 8 All-Star teams. He won the pitching Triple Crown. He won the 1948 World Series. He's won the ERA titles. He's won the Major League Pitcher of the Year. So, and he lived a long life. Bob Feller died at the age of 92. And he was one of the best pitchers in the history of baseball. and records that will never be beaten. You can imagine a 17-year-old pitcher coming on and literally, he won 5 games at 17 years old and struck out 15 batters in his first game ever as a 17-year-old. Now, he wasn't the youngest pitcher ever. The youngest was Joe Nuxhall. And Joe Nuxhall actually pitched when he was 15 years old, but he never pitched again for another 5 or 6 years until he was 22 years old. And when he first pitched when he was 15, he only pitched 1 inning and they scored 5 runs on him that inning. So that was the youngest pitcher ever, was Joe Nuxhall. But Bob Feller was literally the youngest and most successful pitcher ever in the history of baseball, coming into the league. And the first few games, he struck out 15 one game and 17 another. At 17 years old, his ERA was 3.34. So I don't think anybody will ever beat that record. Coming in, pitching, they having to go back to high school to graduate from high school, then came back to pitch again and had an incredible season. Some of his records, just to give you a quick idea, in 1939, he was 24-9. He led the league in wins. In 1940, he also led the league in wins, and he was 27-11. 1941, again, he led the league in wins, and he was 25-13. 1946, he was 26-15, again, leading the league in wins. 1947, he led the league in wins with 20 wins. And in 1951, he also led the league in wins with 22-8 record. And he also led the league in innings pitched and strikeouts and many other records. He pitched for 18 years. And even though he was over 3 years in the Navy, he still won over 266 games. And he has over 2,500 strikeouts for his history. Bob Feller, 17-year-old phenom, striking out 15 batters in his first major league game. That record will never be broken. I don't know if we'll ever see another 17-year-old high schooler even pitching in baseball. So anyway, just wanted to show you a little bit about Bob Feller and also about Johnny Vander Meer. 2 incredible pitchers, incredible history, 2 records, pitching records that will never be broken. So anyway, I want to congratulate Kyle Groundchuck for, he's currently, I think, at 446 subscribers. When he did the video, he was at 406. So congratulations, Groundchuck. And here's my video response to you, records that will never be broken. Thank you, everyone. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Have a great day. Have an awesome day.